Hello, everybody. Let's see here. Just wanting to check in with you guys about a few things. The first, I'm sorry I didn't get to you earlier, but is about this portfolio, which is due today or on Tuesday on the notorious 420, 11:55 p.m. And you should turn it in on turnitin.com. There's been a lot of questions about what a peer-reviewed journal is, and a peer-reviewed journal is a journal that publishes articles that have only been run through an editorial board of scholars in that area. So, for instance, if you're looking at a psychology journal, on the editorial panel will be a bunch of very well known and respected psychologists who've studied the issues. They'll read the article, examine the research, its methods, its findings, and say, okay, this is up to snuff. This is good enough, and then that publishes in the journal. The reason why it's so important to use peer-reviewed journals is because those are the types of journals where the big ideas at the university level are approved or not approved. So a lot of the ideas that we see in popular books and stuff have been vetted or have gone through that process already a lot of times. When you're only using sources that are not peer-reviewed, then they're probably derivative, meaning they come from research that hasn't been gone through some sort of type process, and they are likely ideas taken from the original research. So when you get a peer-reviewed journal, it's usually more cutting edge if you can find the right stuff. There's tons and tons of journals. They're hard to find. It takes a lot of time. Um, I do want you to have your interview done or your participatory experience, and for each thing that you're including in your portfolio, just a paragraph that summarizes it and a paragraph that analyzes it. Obviously, for your peer-reviewed journal articles, they're going to be probably a little bit more thorough and thoughtful in their approach, but they'll probably be narrower. For things that you're doing observations, interviews, there's likely a chance that the ideas are not going to be as thoroughly thought through. They might be interesting, but you'll have a lot more to analyze when someone is, let's say, just a person you know, someone who's not an expert in the field, okay? So make sure you spend some time going through those things. At the end, write a 1 to 2 page reflection on your research process thus far. If for some reason you have not completed your interview or your participatory experience, please explain why and give me a very clear plan about how you plan to finish them before you have to begin writing your paper. If you do not, you cannot pass the paper if you do not have those two things. But I understand, things get in the way, things happen, and I'm willing to kind of let you go with that. You may have, I hope, more than 4 credible articles, more than 1 peer-reviewed, but those are the basic standards that I'm asking for this paper. Okay? Let's see. I need to give you a little update on Ryan logically thinking critically. I've not determined an exercise to do yet, so I think it's unfair to ask you to do one. I'll ask you to look at one, and then we'll do an optional one and discuss that on in a forum here. A few things that you should think about as you're kind of walking through or thinking about this in-class essay or test that's coming up. You're going to have to be able to evaluate the quality of argumentation. That's mainly the task that's going to be happening in this in-class test. You'll be evaluating, looking for logical fallacies, trying to understand the premises and conclusions, understand if an argument is valid or not, whether it's inductive or deductive reasoning. And so you'll be putting all these things together, and the main thing you want to do is not to get too caught up in the jargon, but to really think, like, is this reasonable and why? Are these sentences that they're presenting to be reasonable and why or why not? And that will, I think, be a good starting point. All the tools we've learned in this class thus far will actually help you kind of think about that a little bit more. Okay? If you have questions about that, I will post a little bit more about this and maybe give more of an in-depth lecture about what the in-class test will be like. All right. Hope everyone is well. Sorry I've been gone for a little bit, and take care. Bye.